Hi everyone, and a warm welcome to our big event. My name is Sven Dolsen, and I'm beyond excited to be your host today. It has only been some short 8 weeks since we welcomed many of you to our teasing event on March 4th. Actually, more than 10,000 people have watched the event by now, and the feedback we have received from the dental community around the world was outstanding. This encouraged us even more to put together an engaging event for you today. We have a pretty packed agenda as always, and some exciting news to share around what will be our future software platform and the services connected to it. We will also hear a lot more details on PrimePrint, our state-of-the-art 3D printing solution that we have already introduced to you back in March 4th, and I'm sure you're all excited about to hear more. There's actually also going to be a live Q&A session at the end of the event, so please make sure to submit your open questions at the bottom of the page. Just scroll down all the way to the bottom of the page, type in your name and question, and we'll answer it at the end of the event. So, I'm especially thrilled that we get to listen to different dentists and lab technicians that tell us how they use our solutions today in their day-to-day workflow. But not only our dental professionals, but literally everyone benefits from digital solutions. Digitalization is meant to ease our life. Like instant messaging, for example, simplified our way to communicate. Or video calls enabled us to stay close to friends and family during this hard time of the lockdowns caused by COVID-19. In our private life, we have adopted streaming services to watch movies and TV shows. We use our smartphones to take pictures or videos, and we use cloud services to store all of those files. These services are so advanced that we expect to find a photo that we took on a device on any other device that is connected through those services. Like in our private life, we are also looking for simplified ways to incorporate digital technologies in our work life. And the way this is being done is by adding integrated and intuitive software. We simplify technologies through intuitive software that creates a better user experience and seamlessly integrates with your needs. But what exactly are those needs? Well, over the last couple of weeks, months, and years, we have engaged with so many of you, talked about what you are looking for in order to improve your workflows, and focus on what matters the most: treating your patients and providing optimal dental care. The answer in a nutshell was dental professionals are looking for dentistry to be simplified. They're looking for a coherent, worry-free ecosystem of connected devices and one simple software enabling any treatment in collaboration with specialists and labs. But have a look for yourself.
Hear you. DS Core is our new digital platform that will provide a full set of solutions designed to work as your partner, offering efficiency, collaboration opportunities, and a 360 integration between practice and lab. With improved workflows, you and your team can now save time and focus even more on what matters the most: your patients. We listen to you. Now, let's work together.
So, here it is, DS Core. Pretty cool, isn't it? It is the foundation for our digital ecosystem and what will be the central platform starting today and growing into the future. DS Core will soon become also your gateway to many different services. For example, we have DS Core Create, our comprehensive design service. And in addition to that, we have DS Core Care, our service and support solution. But I don't want to spoil too much. I'd rather have you listen to our expert. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Chris and Nadia, who are going to tell you even more about DS Core.
Thank you very much, Sven, and a warm welcome also from our side. It is our pleasure to introduce you to the latest developments, to the Dentsply Sirona digital universe. One coherent, worry-free platform as the single entry point to all your patient files for collaboration with your colleagues, with labs, with patients, and for immediate support. This is DS Core. Simplifying technology through intuitive software is not new to us. nor to you.
We've invested some time in simplifying access to our hardware technology, like PrimeScan, Exeos, or Orthofos, through our software solutions like CEREC and Sidexis. We have pioneered and co-created together with you some of the most advanced and intuitive workflows in dentistry today, like CEREC, chairside restorative. And we have implemented data connections like the overlay of intraoral scans, a prosthetic proposal, and cone beam CT to implement integrated implantology. And we see that while many of you have very advanced digital tools at your fingertips, you still rely on less than integrated cloud solutions when you share files with colleagues or with a specialist, or when you send a case to a lab.
That's why today we take our first step into a new era of digital dentistry for seamless and efficient workflows, whether you choose to collaborate with a lab or to work chairside and produce in-house. One platform that works with you. This is DS Core, DS Core Care, and DS Core Create. Your door to the digital universe where you access all your patient files from anywhere you are. Experience with us the continuous evolution into the platform for patient engagement, diagnosis, for all your treatment applications, lab ordering, and so much more. DS Core offers seamless integration with our equipment like Axios, PrimeScan, Orthofos, Omnicam, Schick. At the same time, we want to ensure that it works for everyone. So we don't only allow our own file formats, we keep this platform open so that everyone benefits from it. Working digitally comes with responsibility for the security of your patients' digital records. DS Core is built on Google Cloud Platform and fully supports HIPAA and GDPR compliance, so that you don't need to worry about the security of your files. And this is true for the data you have in your practice and also for the data you share with someone external. So on DS Core, you can share a case with your peers and give them time-limited access. You can collaborate on case progression. You can share data with peace of mind. Granted access is removed automatically after a defined period of time, or it can be removed anytime earlier. You always have full control. And on top of it all, it's free of charge for those you share cases with, so you can share your files with anyone you want and always stay in a protected and secure environment to keep your patients' data safe and secure. In the process of building out this new platform, we have involved customers from early concept phase all the way through the beta testing phases. So let's listen in together to their experience. Today, we have the pleasure to welcome someone whom you might remember from our last event. Let's welcome a general dentist from Orono, Minnesota, Dr. Mike Scramstead. In his practice, he works together with 4 other dentists and in total about 28 staff members, offering a wide range of services, starting anything from regular checkups, cosmetics, to single-visit guided implantology and same-day restorations. Mike has implemented CEREC back in 2003 already and has built his office into an almost all-digital dental practice. Hello and welcome, Mike. It's great to have you back here with us again.
Yeah, thanks. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me, Nadia and Chris.
After using DS Core in your practice, can you share a little bit about your experience?
Yeah, so the big thing with DS Core is now having the ability to have all my patient data, the whole digital file, meaning cone beams, intraoral scans, intraoral x-rays, photographs, videos, all in one location that's easily accessible really from anywhere.
Now, Mike, as a practice owner, what would you say is the biggest advantage of having that comprehensive patient file with all of the data in one central spot?
Well, the biggest advantage of having all this, this digital patient in one place is really the collaboration. Now, if you think about simple things that we do in our dental office on a daily basis, like sending a patient to a specialist, for instance. In the past, we'd have to kind of dig through the data, take a screenshot of an x-ray, maybe duplicate a cone beam onto a DVD to send this to the specialist. And now I have to just simply, with a click of a button, I can have that file to anybody in just a couple seconds. So the collaboration between specialists and other dentists is a massive advantage of DS Core.
Do you have the feeling that your partners and colleagues themselves also benefit from you sharing data with them through DS Core?
Yeah, I think anytime that you can collaborate with a specialist or another dentist in a more efficient, easy manner is always better. I mean, nobody likes to get transferred x-rays via whatever it might be, or via email or DVD. So the fact that I can send something that they can open up immediately, even a CBCT, they can open it up immediately to view it is so much more convenient than any other method that we've ever used before. So that convenience and that ease of use and everything associated with that is really going to change the way dentists collaborate with other dentists and specialists for the future.
Now, Mike, that collaboration between clinicians or with the specialists is one side. What about cases when you're ordering from a dental lab, for example?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it doesn't even stop with the specialist. It could be a lab technician that would say that it would be really nice to see where that patient's teeth were prior to breaking them. And I could go back into DS Core, find a digital scan that maybe I took a year ago before the patient damaged their teeth. I send them the file, and now they have a picture of what those teeth look like prior to needing treatment. So there's collaboration on many different levels that this is going to provide.
Thank you very much, Mike, and talk to you later again. So Mike just spoke about our digital patient because DS Core brings all digital files such as intraoral 2D or 3D X-ray, optical impressions, pictures, PDFs, videos, and more together into one comprehensive file.
That's right. And it's all configured to seamlessly integrate with PrimeScan so that in the background, all of your intraoral scans can be automatically uploaded. SIDX's 4 can also be connected, so you have optional access to all of your X-rays from within DS Core.
And we know that each of these files can be quite large, in some instances up to a gigabyte. And we don't want you to run out of storage, so already in its initial release, DS Core provides you up to 15 terabyte of storage, depending on what package you choose. That actually accounts for up to 30,000 3D X-rays, 150,000 digital models, or 3 million pictures. In the future, you won't even need large servers in your office anymore at all, because later, DS Core will be available as primary storage as well.
And it's not just the storage, it's about accessibility. With DS Core, all of your patient files are available through the web browser, no matter where you are. At home, in the practice, traveling, even out with friends. The integrated 3D viewer can display all of your X-ray data, whether it be 2D or even 3D. Even digital models and intraoral scans can be shown and displayed without installing any extra software. We have a comment function to where you can add text to any cases, perfect for collaboration with your peers or any specialists.
Since all of it is cloud-based, you never have to worry about updates or upgrades anymore. Like we mentioned before, this is the first release of our platform. Like other platforms, for example, like Google Search, this platform will evolve. There won't be this one single big bang, but a constant series of smaller evolutions within shorter timeframes. Adding further integration to more hardware, software, services. With that, we are building a global marketplace that also allows labs to extend their reach to become the ultimate dental cloud for patients, dentists, and labs, fostering relationships to enable your best work and the best possible care for your patients.
And don't worry, this does not require a big upfront investment. We're talking about a simple subscription model that starts at under $20 per month.
And we don't stop here. DS Core is so much more already. It is also your gateway to services. Why don't we have a closer look together? And for that, I would like to hand over to my colleague Jan. He is going to explain to us what DS Core Care does for you.
Sure, Nadia. Thank you both, and hello, everyone. So Dentsply Sirona has a long history of providing the most innovative equipment, starting from the first imaging solution to digital impression like PrimeScan, and of course, our latest introduction, PrimePrint. And all of these solutions have three things in common: achieving optimal treatment results, growing your practice, and making your patients happy. And if you think about DS Core, it is all about putting you, our customers, to the center to provide you with even more flexibility and room for growth. And in order to do that, we wanted to listen to you to better understand how we can further contribute to your success. And as we know that equipment service is critically important to do that, we asked dentists around the globe what they think about equipment service. So here's what we heard. First of all, speed was mentioned as the most important topic by the dentist. So we understand that for you, time is of the essence, and we have built our service offering following this guiding principle. What also was pretty obvious is that we have to combine our new PrimePrint solution with the state-of-the-art equipment service offering. And therefore, I'm more than excited to introduce the DS Core component, which makes your life easier: DS Core Care. DS Core Care is Dentsply Sirona's new equipment service solution to match our premium equipment quality. We intend to provide the industry-leading equipment service and support together with our global distribution network and their qualified service technicians. But what does this exactly mean for you? Well, let's have a look. Basically, it means confidence through fast and qualified support to optimize your product lifetime. It's quality by customer service from a trusted manufacturer with premium product quality and original spare parts. And it's simple. It's easy to understand and easy to access. Ultimately, all of this paying into your peace of mind. And after we have heard what dentists expect from us and our distribution partners, we want to contribute to your peace of mind by enabling more time with your patients, high quality of service, and a clearly defined coverage. DS Core Care is a milestone in our journey to providing extraordinary customer experience. DS Core Care offers an integrated equipment service and support packages which optimize your equipment investment after purchase, and it starts today with PrimePrint. So let's have a closer look what's really in it for you. The yearly preventive maintenance is included to make sure that the lifetime and also the reliability of your equipment is optimized. And in case you need it, there's a technical phone support to answer your questions reliably and quickly by qualified service experts. And of course, we include our original spare parts to make sure that your investment is protected while you're using it. And last but not least, our brand new customer support portal. It's available 24/7 for easy and direct self-help for you and your teams to answer any product-related question as quickly as possible. All of this has a duration of 3 years. You can extend it to 6 years in order to provide long-term peace of mind. But now I stop talking about it. Let's rather hear what Mike has to share regarding DS Core Care and the customer support portal. Nadia and Chris, back to you.
Thank you, Jan, for sharing DS Core Care with us. And now I'm happy to have Mike back with us. And Mike, let me directly forward Jan's question to you. Why are device service and support so important for you?
Well, when you invest in a technology, especially a technology that's expensive and is really kind of the foundation of your office, support is everything. Meaning you need to know that a company is going to have your back if a problem arises. You know, the way services is now is when you have to call a hotline, for instance, it takes time away from patients. You know, it takes the staff away from what we would like them to be doing while they are trying to deal with a particular issue that may be happening with a piece of our technology.
Mike, so DS Core really saves a lot of time and effort for you and your staff in the practice. Maybe you can say a couple of words as to how DS Core Care plays into the same goal.
With DS Core Care, it also saves my staff a ton of time because a lot of these simple issues that happen on a daily basis can be solved actually quite easily if you have a place to look. And now that they have a dedicated place where they can go and solve almost all these issues in a very quick and easy manner, it's really saved us a lot of time in our office. In addition, it's nice to have all this in one place, meaning all of our patient data is stored in the DS Core and we can access the DS Core Care all in the same location. So there's no more searching around for where do I need to go to find this particular portal. It's all there ready to be used.
Great point. Speaking about time savings, Jan has mentioned the customer support portal. Can you share a little bit how this portal has helped you and your staff?
Yeah, the customer support portal has made a huge difference because I'm honestly not going to always be around to help my staff. And a simple question like you see Natalia here is switching a material unit. I happen not to be around and she needed some assistance, so she could very easily look this up on the smart search of this portal and find an answer directly that solved her issue. So now not only do they have, you can empower your assistants to kind of solve a lot of these issues that in the past they would have to try to deal with in other ways.
So Mike, with all the experience you have now, if you now look to the future, which next developments would you be looking for?
Well, I think with service, the next stage of this DS Core Care is we have the portal where we can search up and solve a lot of our issues very, very easily. But in the future, I think it would be great if all of our devices, whether that's a cone beam, a prime scan, a milling unit, all these units are constantly communicating and talking to the DS Core and DS Core Care all the time. And why this would be important is if you ever had a hardware issue, perhaps, then it might be possible that you wouldn't even have to have a technician come to your office. Maybe all this data could be on the cloud and someone could analyze that and know exactly what your issue was. Maybe you need a part, maybe it can be fixed easily, but then they could order the correct part, have it delivered to your office, and save so much time on visits from technicians. So I think having all this hardware constantly communicating, uploading data, running diagnostics is just going to save the office a tremendous amount of time in the future.
Great insights. Thank you again, Mike. So lots of excitement around DS Core Care and how it will bring peace of mind to practices around the globe. Another great service that shows that DS Core is the gateway to more is DS Core Create. It will redefine the dentist-lab collaboration, and now Chris will tell us more about it.
You know, with these launch events, sometimes it feels like the technology itself, the pure invention, doesn't necessarily constitute an instant improvement in the dental field. If we look into the average dental practice, we see certain routines. Who does what comes next, what each room or operatory is dedicated to. This dependency on habitual workflows can almost present as a kind of hurdle to making big changes to the way they work. At the same time, in the dental lab, we know that everything's much more efficient when it's digital. But this applies especially to design, less so to digital infrastructure, network, data transfer, data security. We think today that we have the solution, the twist on this new technology that is going to make it an instant improvement to the dental field. DS Core Create, delivering high-quality digital designs directly into the practice without the need for big revolutionary workflow changes. Partnering with labs, using our expertise and size to take care of the infrastructure, the data transfer, and security, while they concentrate on their core competencies. But you don't have to take my word for it. Joining us here today from Munich is Dr. Gertrude Fabel. Welcome, Gertrude.
Thank you for having me today, Chris. I'm really excited to be here.
Thank you for taking the time to join us. Why don't you tell our viewers a word or two about yourself and your practice?
Well, I'm from Munich, as you already told us, and I run my practice together with my husband and my daughter.
This is your office that we see here, right?
Right. You see my team and my treatment rooms. So, and this is me.
Wonderful. Gertrude, I'm sorry, but I do have to address the elephant in the room here. A lot of us already know you as a longtime CEREC user, an advocate of chairside restorative technology. It might seem a little strange to hear you speaking of using a design service.
Yes, you're right. We can design pretty much everything in our office. That's correct. But especially after 14 years of experience, now implementing the 3D printing in our practice, it might not always be the best decision to design everything ourselves.
I guess I get that. It's probably a difference whether you're spending 4 or 5 minutes designing a posterior crown, or with some of the applications that you might be printing now, you could spend 20 minutes or more designing, say, a splint or a night guard.
Yeah, exactly. Great that you bring up the night guards. So why not have a look at our workflow in my practice?
We'd love to.
Well, everything starts with a scan. Even after 3 years working with my Prime Scan, I'm still excited about the ease and the speed of the scanner. And although I love scanning, I also trained my staff to do so and to handle the scans themselves.
Which is great, because then after the scan, your staff can also take over placing the order, which I believe is what we see here.
Right, it's just a few clicks and the night guard order is placed.
And within 15 minutes, the Core Create lab will actually provide feedback on the scan, whether it's of sufficient quality for the order.
Correct. So as long as the patient is in our office, we get the information if the scan is sufficient or not.
Which is a lot better than having to order the patient back into the office to rescan after they've already gone home. So within 6 hours then, the Core Create lab is going to turn around the design and provide you with a digital night guard design.
Yeah, and this is the moment where I just have a look at it in complicated cases. Normally, I would just download it and start the print process.
That's also kind of a key part too, that if you're even leaving this review step to your staff, then all you have left to do is download the print file, which contains all the information about the print job. The material, the orientation, the drainage strategy, the support structures, even the color. So all your staff has left to do is
just press print and the job starts. And the best is I save the print file and can reproduce in case the patient loses the night guard or breaks it.
Which basically amounts to an upstanding night guard service for your patients. That
absolutely.
Is so cool. Gertrude, we've learned quite a bit from you today. DS Core Create as a design service really makes for easy office integrations.
Yes, and even for experienced users, it might be an option to decide case by case whether to do it yourself or to export and take the design service.
Thank you so much for being with us today.
It was my pleasure, Chris. Thank you for having me.
Gertrude uses PrimeScan, but Nadia, it's important to remember that DS Core Create is available for any intraoral scanner, bringing digital lab expertise directly into the dental office with super quick turnaround times in spite of a very minimum invest of doctor time. This digital collaboration at the end of the day really is going to lead to excellent clinical outcomes for the patient.
So, with the patient always in focus, we are now opening the new digital universe with DS Core Care, and DS Core Create. And with that, back to you, Sven.
Wow, that was very impressive. Thanks a lot, Nadia and Chris, for hosting the session on DS Core. I can't wait to see the first customers using the platform and its related services. So, it is now time to switch to the second session of today's event. Let's talk about PrimePrint, our state-of-the-art 3D printing solution, and let's have a look into the details, facts, and figures. During the next chapter of this event, we will get a first glimpse of our clinical study results, have a view behind the curtain of product management and R&D, and follow clinical workflows of both dentists and lab technicians. I'm very happy to announce the host of this session, Johannes Krug. Johannes, take it away.
3D printing is finally prime. With PrimePrint, we developed a simplified, highly automated, end-to-end 3D printing solution. We introduced it in our event on March 4th. It consists of a dental intelligence software suite, a printer, and a post-processing unit. A medical-grade 3D printing solution that consequently reduces handling times and manual work and ensures safe procedures and treatment outcomes. We showed the 4 simple steps of printing, and therefore we printed live on stage. Today, we will take a closer look at the details of PrimePrint 3D printing solution and answer the questions that we have received through social media and other channels. So let's dive in. Last time we showed you how Mike printed a splint, but there are many more applications that we can do with PrimePrint. So far, we have the opportunity to print surgical guides, temporary restorations, working models, thermoforming models, custom impression trays, castables. And our R&D teams are already working on additional indications. We talked about dental intelligence last time. A huge part of the whole magic lies in the software. The CEREC software 5.2 and the InLab software version 22 are applied across the complete 3D printing process in various ways and provide for accurate and reproducible results. The upstream design steps handled via CEREC or InLab CAD software automatically include parameters required for the subsequent 3D printing with PrimePrint. For users of third-party CAD software, the construction data in STL format can be imported into the InLab CAM software. With a few automated steps, you prepare the fully constructed application in the InLab CAM software. The software controls all necessary print and post-processing steps in a fully automated way and monitors the complete process up to the build platform, removal from the PPU. This means it automatically takes care of optimized orientation strategies for printing, washing, and curing. 3 orientation modes on the building platform: quality, speed, or footprint. Application individual automated supporting algorithms, automated hollowing, automated train channel calculation, automated resin basin filling, and last but not least, the visualization options for supporting quality and functional areas. And the cool thing is, the software already prepares the print file so that you can directly move on with the fast forward button and then send it to PrimePrint to start the production. So let's talk about the printing. PrimePrint comes with some real clever features. The PrimePrint box is the workflow enabler. It offers easy handling between jobs and a high degree of cleanliness and safety throughout the print and post-processing steps. This ensures that you never get in touch with an unfinished application. The PrimePrint box holds the building platform and transport it safely and protect it from UV light throughout the complete manufacturing process. To print an indication, we also need material. Of course, PrimePrint provides an intelligent concept for this. The material unit combines the wet and the material cartridge and enables quick and easy changeover between different materials. The material unit comes with automated resin conditioning, automated filling and heating, lifetime monitoring, and UV protection. PrimePrint's intelligent material management makes loading, filling, and replacement of cartridges very easy. There is one validated material for each indication, and each material in a cartridge is color-coded. This is also mirrored in the InLab CAM software for easy orientation, All its features ensure quality, process security, and documentation. After the print process, the print job in the prime print box is moved to the prime print PPU for washing, drying, and curing. Inside the PPU, there are 2 washing containers for the pre-wash and final wash to ensure no resin is left on the print object. Each container provides secure handling of up to 2.5 liters of wash agent. It can be isopropanol. The washing containers have an intelligent wash agent condition monitoring, and they are lockable for safe and easy storage. Via the RFID technology, all these devices give feedback to the software, so it can check, control, and document each process step. This ensures better predictability of maintenance, while at the same time helping you to avoid any mistakes. RFID-controlled workflows, so to say. So, for me, these are some pretty useful features for 3D printing. But let's also hear from our beta tester Mike what he thinks. Hello, Mike.
Thanks for having me, Johannes. It's great to see you again.
Mike, you have been a beta tester for Prime Print for a while now. What indications did you use it for?
Well, really, when we got Prime Print, my goal was to make my whole entire office digital. So right now, currently, we're doing all of our models, all of our surgical guides, and all of our splints. So by doing this all digital, it's actually saving us quite a bit of time, and not only that, it's allowing the staff to do much of this work by themselves.
Great. And from your opinion, what is important once you think about a 3D printing solution?
Well, obviously, whenever you're 3D printing something, accuracy is certainly important. But from my perspective as a dentist, the single most important thing with 3D printing is I have to be able to get my staff involved, meaning I want to delegate almost 100% of this to my staff. Not only to save myself time so I can be treating patients, but also I want to empower them to give them kind of some value in doing some new and fun things that they never probably imagined that they would be doing.
Mike, you talked about the ease of use for your staff. So can you give us some examples for this?
The integration of specifically CEREC and Prime Print allows us to basically just scan the patient, and with one click of a button, we can send it to the correct software and then to the printer. So, I mean, literally, I taught my staff how to do it in like less than 5 minutes. So that integration is 100% key to getting the staff involved in integrating this into your office.
Absolutely, Mike. Accuracy is critically important, especially when it comes to surgical guides, right?
If that surgical guide is not 100% accurate, it affects every single thing from that point forward. Meaning if the implant gets in slightly wrong, it's going to affect the final restoration. So we have to make sure that that part is as accurate as it possibly can be.
Thanks, very interesting. Can you tell us a bit more about the surgical guide workflow and how does this look like in your practice?
So when a patient comes in for an implant, the very first thing that we're going to do is take the CBCT and the CEREC scan. So once that data is there, we can go ahead and start the process to make the surgical guide. So the very first thing we're going to do is in the CEREC software, we're going to go ahead and design where that restoration needs to be. So we'll design the tooth in the CEREC software, and then we'll take that over to the implant planning software. Now in the implant planning software, we'll use that CEREC data to go ahead and position the implant in the correct location based on kind of that prosthetic plan from the CEREC software. Now once we have that data, we can bring it directly back into the CEREC timeline, the same patient, and from there, the surgical guide can be designed directly in the CEREC software. Once the surgical guide is complete, it just takes a couple seconds to design. We'll go ahead and send that over into the in-lab CAM software. So to send this over, it's super easy. It's just one click of a button in the final manufacturing stage of the surgical guide, and it's automatically in the CAM software. Well, I think the in-lab CAM software is so special because it's so intelligent that it automatically kind of does what you need it to do. For instance, in the beginning screen, all the patients that need 3D printed jobs are going to be listed with the material that they need to be printed out of. So a staff member can just pick the job, go ahead and hit the fast forward button on the bottom, and this will automatically position the guide in the right location. It will automatically add the support structures, go directly to the printing screen, and they just have to print it. Now, once things are in the CAM software, this is where my dental assistant generally takes over. In our office, generally the dentist is going to plan the implant position and the surgical guide, but once we send it to the CAM software, the dental assistant will notice something needs to be printed. She'll recognize automatically in the software what material it needs to be printed out of, and she will go ahead and 3D print that with the prime print. Once everything is printed, she'll transfer it over to the post-processing unit for the wash and the cure. And after that, she'll take it out and go ahead and remove the production supports, put in the sleeve, and sterilize that guide and get it ready for surgery. So all this process can be completed. We do this same day. So the day that I take the CEREC scan and the CBCT, that surgical guide is going to be completed immediately. Just we want to get this done so it's kind of off of our plate and ready to go for that patient appointment, which could be the same day, or it could be the next day, or whenever that patient happens to schedule.
Yeah, great to hear, Mike. We already talked about accuracy before. Can you give us some more details on the accuracy of your printed surgical guides?
The greatest improvement that I've noticed with the prime print surgical guides compared to some other guides that are either milled or printed with other printers is when you put the sleeve into the guide, oftentimes this is actually quite difficult to get in with other 3D printers. And with the prime print, the fit is absolutely perfect every time. There's no struggle to get that sleeve in the guide, and that has to be due to the great accuracy of the prime print. And then another thing, of course, that I like about the printed guides is that I have the ability to sterilize these before my patient visit.
Mike, you do multiple implant treatments as well. So what has changed in your workflows using prime print?
One of the hugest advantages of using the prime print to 3D print these surgical guides is we can finally do multiple implant sites. So in the past, when I would create my own surgical guides, the process would be relatively similar, but I would mill these surgical guides in my prime mill. Now, that worked great, but you were limited to only one site. So now a lot of our implants that we're doing multiple, 2 or 3 implants, and now we can do a surgical guide with all these sites in one guide with the prime print.
Very nice. So how about the documentation for your guides? How do you do this?
Well, the nice thing about using this integrated system with the CAM software and the printer and the PPU is everything is always accessible, meaning the software, you cannot make a mistake. It's going to know the correct resin. It's going to automatically wash and cure it properly based on these validated material protocols. And if I ever need any information on this particular guide, it's always going to be stored in the CAM software. So at any time I can go into the database of the jobs that I printed and get any piece of information that I need on that particular guide that we printed.
Super, Mike. Thanks. Just a remark from my side here. With the quality process protocol, we wanted to give not only the dentist security in long-term case documentation, but also the patient, who can be sure that all important printing and post-processing parameters were met. The result meets medical requirements, ready to be inserted into the patient's mouth. So Mike, because the question came up after our last event in March, how do you think about the size of the printer?
Well, I mean, the printing units are relatively large visually, but if you actually think about how much space this is actually taking up, in normal printing solutions, you would need the printer, you need the wash station, and you need the curing station. So the way that I think about it is how much countertop is this taking up? And when I measure my other 3D printers to the prime print, it's really exactly the same. So it takes up no additional space whatsoever. So with the size, I'm absolutely fine with because there's total automation. So all that takes some space, but it actually doesn't take up any more space than any of my other printing solutions in my office.
Mike, I would like to get your opinion about another topic that came up after our last event in March. How's your experience with the size of the building platform?
Yeah, so I understand the building platform is a big point for dentists. They want to have the comfort of having a big platform. And what I will say to that is I have printers that have that, and just the efficiency of my staff being able to do it on their own, being able to do the jobs with the integration as I go throughout the day, that it truly is not an issue. In fact, it's an improvement in my office. Just the workflow makes that whole process so much easier. I can delegate it. The staff loves it, and so I'm much happier with the solution with the Prime Print, even though the build plate might be a little bit smaller.
Thank you so much, Mike. This was really great. I wish you all the best for your future printing. See you.
Thanks, Johannes. It was a pleasure to join you, and I'm super excited that this printer is finally available on the market. I think that everybody's going to be super excited to get their hands on it.
As we heard, for Mike, accuracy is very important, and therefore the whole workflow must be perfectly integrated. And of course, the technical requirements of the hardware for a predictable outcome must be met. How does Prime Print do that? Prime Print uses digital light processing technology where resins are polymerized using UV light. The light projector hardened the resin layer by layer to deliver highly accurate printing results. We use a 385 nanometer UV DLP light engine. We project with 70 micropixel size and enable by that a build volume of 134 by 76 by 150 millimeters. Furthermore, Prime Print comes with several sensors, which ensure that the whole system works reliably. This means we have sensors for temperature, humidity, air pressure, and light source power. I would also like to highlight some of the nice features in the PPU. First, let's have a look at the washing process. It is completely controlled by the software. We have intelligent steering management, automated wash agent interchange, and in total we can prevent cross-contamination. In the light curing chamber, the curing process is automatically initiated. It provides a highly productive post-curing in a protective gas atmosphere and with active nitrogen management. The curing chamber enables us to heat up to 80 degrees Celsius curing temperature. We have the automated nitrogen management, and we can monitor the lifetime of the flashlights. So, to summarize this, the fully automation, especially of the post-processing unit, makes it possible to reduce manual work. With Prime Print solution, you can easily print biocompatible applications with reproducible and accurate results. And this we can also already prove with the first results of the scientific study at the University of Aachen. I'm really happy to share these with you. Professor Sven Reich and his team independently tested how Prime Print's accuracy really performs. And they summarized the results for us.
Dear colleagues, our duty at the University of Aachen was to evaluate the accuracy of Prime Print. You all know accuracy consists of trueness and precision. Within the presentation, we will concentrate on trueness. And we evaluated the trueness of the following indications. They were orthodontic casts for thermoforming purposes, for example, prep casts, the trueness of occlusal devices, and the trueness of surgical guides. To evaluate the trueness of casts, we adhered to the following principle. Of course, we need a ground truth. This means a reference cast. We applied that by digitizing this cast with a high-resolution industrial scanner so that we obtained a digital twin, a reference model. Then we applied the entire digital workflow with a Prime Print so that we obtained printed casts. These printed casts we also digitized with a high-resolution industrial scanner so that they also exist in the virtual reality. And now we had a virtual twin of the printed cast, and now we could superimpose this 3D dataset with a reference model and could investigate the deviations between reference model and the twin of the printed model. And the results for the orthodontic casts were mean deviations over the full arch of 46 microns as a mean value. Of course, we were interested in the conventional workflow we did within the orthodontic casts by alginate impressions and produced gypsum casts. And here we revealed 68 microns as a mean. And of course, we wanted to know how the results were reported, or what kind of results were reported in the literature. And when we looked at the literature, we had benchmark results. We call it benchmark results because we searched in the literature for comparable investigations with other printers. And as you see, we were within these benchmark results. The trueness results for the prep cast were for the printer workflow, 33 microns as mean value for the full arch. Of course, we also did a conventional workflow applying polyvinyl siloxane impressions and fabricating gypsum master casts, where we found 69 microns as mean value. To take a look at the literature again, we found publications that applied similar methods, and for the printer, there were reported values between 48 and 146 microns, so that our results within the printer workflow were a little bit better than the best reported workflows in the literature. A completely different approach we chose for the trueness evaluation of our occlusal devices. Here we had as a blueprint our virtual design of the occlusal devices, and of course we printed them so that we obtained the real occlusal device. And this printed occlusal devices we again digitized with our high-resolution scanner. And now it was easy to compare these 3D scans of the printed occlusal device with the blueprint of the occlusal device that was the basis for our print. The results we revealed were dependent from the volume, 68 and 90 microns as mean value over the entire shape of these occlusal devices. Again, look at the literature, and here we were a little bit below the reported results with other printers in review articles in literature. And the last investigation we did was to investigate the entire workflow using surgical guides printed with prime print. And of course, you all know it, we wanted to know what were the deviations between the planned implant and the inserted implant by the help of the surgical guide. The mean deviation between planned and actually achieved implant position was at the neck 360 microns. At the apex, we found 720 microns. We applied 4 different evaluation methods. These values are the mean values of these 4 different evaluation methods. And again, we tried to find in the literature comparable investigations, of course, in vitro investigations. And here we see that we were within these benchmarks found in the literature. To summarize, with respect to orthodontic and prep casts, within our studies, we revealed better results for the prime print workflow than for the conventional workflows. with respect to occlusal devices and surgery guides, we found comparable or even better results compared to the literature. If you are interested in more detailed information about methods and results, please feel free to look at these peer-reviewed online publications. Thank you very much.
Very impressive results. They should also convince many lab technicians that PrimePrint is the right product for their lab. But who am I to judge? To get the lab perspective, we have another special guest here today. Frank Acosta has his lab in Murrieta, California. He is an absolute expert for any indication, and in his lab there are about 20 people serving many customers. Hey, Frankie, how are you?
Hey, what's up, my brother? I haven't seen you in a long time, ever since this COVID situation, but I'm doing well. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
For us, it's very important to get the lab perspective. Once it comes to 3D printing, how do you think about 3D printing in labs at the moment?
Well, 3D printing is now the most important thing in my world right now, especially when we move on to all these different restorations that we're able to do digital, like, digital dentures, partials, all on fours. So, that's just like the next generation. It's a lot faster to print than the mill. So for me, it's super important moving forward, especially with all the materials that are going to be hitting the market.
What are you using the PrimePrint solution for?
So I've been using the PrimePrint lately for CeraGuide 2s, CeraGuide 3s, and also for models. We do a lot of all-on-4 models. So when it comes down to the implant models that we do, we basically are starting to run them through our PrimePrint.
Can you tell us a little bit about the workflow creating a model?
So we basically design the crown. After we design the crown, we click a button, we make a model, we design the model. After we design the model, then we export everything. And so what's really cool about, for me at least in our laboratory, because everything that we have is in lab, everything is just a complete circle. So I just press one button, everything exports to where it needs to go and what folder it needs to go. And now the fun begins. Mill out the crown. After we mill out the crown, we then start our printing. For us, once we put it into, the printer, it's just pressing that button. Once you feed it, press that button, the printing, begins. Then the next step that we have is that we're just putting it into the PPU, and you're not really getting all that guck all over yourself, right? I mean, it's not, you have to wash your hands 1,000 times, or like I see some of my techs, basically using the alcohol to get all that material off their hands, because once it's done, all you're doing is opening it up, and it's already cured for you, it's already clean for you, and it's already dried for you. And so once you take that, you just take all the sprues off. Once you take the sprues off, your model's ready to go. Once you have that crown, you basically take that crown, you take that model, especially if it's an implant case, you just put that bad boy in there, you screw it in, and you call it a day. And that for me is just simplicity. It's just, easy workflows. It just makes my life a lot funner and easier.
And when it comes to printing models, what is important for you?
For me, when it comes to the models, especially when it comes to implant models, I want things to be accurate. When I get those digital analogs, I want them to slide in. I don't want to have to, mess with it. I don't want to grind around. I basically want that bad boy just to slide in. I want to lock it in, and I want to be able to just make whatever restorations I need to do on those.
Frankie, one more topic. I know you have been working with different printers over the last couple of years. What is so unique about PrimePrint?
Yeah, I mean, with most printers, basically, there's a lot of hands-on, things going on, right? So let's say if I was going to print, my techs would have to, put it, make sure that everything is working. Once it prints, now the process begins, right? You got to clean everything. You have to basically put things into your curing unit. You have to do all these things. For the PrimePrint and the grab and go, that as we see it, is that once we put it into the PPU, the process begins automatically. For us, we can do a lot of other things while we're waiting. I mean, we can actually reload the printer so it starts a whole new print, and then the whole process just keeps going over and over again. So for us, that's huge.
Frankie, fumes are always a topic once it comes to 3D printing. How do you handle this in your lab?
That's a great question. I mean, at the end, we have our printers in different areas and stuff like that. Even in our education, we have a couple printers in there. And sometimes the fumes, even though we have a lot of things that they're supposed to capture those fumes, you can kind of still smell, that something's going on. With prime print, that's not even a conversation. Sometimes they don't even know it's running because they can't even smell it or hear it. Great.
Thank you very, very much.
Well, thank you, my brother, for having me here. I hope to see you soon. We haven't seen each other in a long time, so goodbye.
Very valuable insights indeed. Especially the part about the safe work environment was important for me. In case you are wondering how PrimePrint achieves that, I can shed some light. Both devices are equipped with filters. The printer is equipped with an activated charcoal filter. It ensures that the surrounding air is clean and that no fumes exit the printer. People who already worked with 3D printers probably know what I'm talking about. Inside the PPU, there is also an activated charcoal filter, plus an ozone filter. So for both devices, the filters take care of clean air and make an external suction unit redundant. So what have we seen today? You have learned a lot about PrimePrint, and we hope that we were able to answer most of the important questions. In case there are still some open topics, please join us during our Q&A session, or do not hesitate to reach out to us or your local contact persons. With that, I hand back to Sven.
Thank you, Johannes. I have to say, I'm always amazed by how far we have taken 3D printing in dental with our newest kid in town, PrimePrint. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm just thrilled about what we have seen today, especially when it comes to how our customers and your peers are already using the new solutions in their daily workflows. So, this is it, our digital universe designed to give dental professionals the power to do more, following your clear wish to simplify dentistry. You have just heard many facts and details around PrimePrint, saw clinical procedures in labs and practices, and have been introduced to DS Core, our future platform, and what will be the gateway to all of our services. As said in the beginning, the first services that will live on DS Core are DS Core Create, which will provide high-quality experts design, and DS Core Care, our comprehensive service and support solution. The first markets where the solutions shared today will be available are the US and Germany, with more countries to follow shortly after. So if you are interested in getting more information about these solutions, please feel free to call your local representative, who will be more than happy to answer all your questions. So, to stay true to our promise to help you to unlock the full potential of your work so that you can easily collaborate with your partner, specialists, and labs to focus on what matters the most, treating patients and giving them a healthy smile. As we have heard today, this is just the beginning of a journey. Together with your feedback, we will continuously improve and grow this platform even further over the next weeks and months, with increasing functionality and even more services to come. So, stay tuned for continuous updates and new solutions. With this being said, we are coming to the end. Thanks a lot for watching today's event with us. And now I'm inviting you to join our Q&A session, which will take place now. So, just scroll to the bottom of your screen, type in your name and your question, and we will answer it during the Q&A session. So, this is it. Thank you, goodbye. I'll see you in the Q&A sessions.